Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Back at it again. Happy Monday. It's a Monday where we actually get some breaking news. Commitment Monday, finally, where we get to reminisce and break it down on the BBP Monday. We also have a Monday following a week of football commit after football commit after football commit after football transfer commit Monday. We also have a Monday after I got to be united with each member of the BBP Monday over the weekend. We also have a Monday before the NFL draft where many hopeful Bearcats hope to hear their names called. We also have a Monday where we get to talk everything Bearcats, everything that we can possibly think of, football, basketball, anything of the sort. But we also have a Monday where we get to bring in a special guest who knows a lot about that commitment. I teased a little bit earlier, but without further ado, it's time to welcome in my guys, pals, the group, the squad, Mr. Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, Ryan Royer. Gentlemen, how are we? Aaron?
I'm doing all right. Got to pop some tops with you and Ryan, and we did for the first time actually have all four of us together at once for a selfie that remains in Chad's phone. But yeah, it was cool to finally have all of us together.
There we go. Ryan, how are we, sir?
Doing well, yeah. I'll piggyback off Aaron. It's great to link up and get to celebrate Kelly's wonderful life. So it was a little tough part of the weekend, but it's good to see you guys and kind of bond together and be there for Chad.
Headed over to the Village. What is it? The Village Tap Room, or is that what it's called?
Aaron? Village
Tavern over there in Montgomery. No free ads, but it's a good place to down a couple brews. So
nothing like some Cardi B at 4 p.m.
Oh yeah,
Saturday in the middle of Montgomery.
It was beautiful.
Over a blue moon or something.
Beautiful.
I'm here, but I've got Grand Central Station in my house tonight, so I'll probably be on mute most of the evening.
Hopping Grand Central Station, man. That's a hopping place right there.
So I've got the mother-in-law, the sister-in-law, Kelsey, and my stepmom and Kelly's cousin all going through Kelly's stuff because if we didn't do that right now, a year from now, her closet would still be chock full of things.
I guess I just start looking.
There you go. Okay, now you just opened both doors. Like
that one was already open.
No, it wasn't.
It literally was.
Anyhow, so yeah, I'm probably not going to be super active tonight. I've got the Queen of Sass.
Hi, Kelsey. Good seeing you.
Said hi and good seeing you this weekend. She smiled.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'll just be over here minding my own business.
Love it. But you know what? Minding his own business. He's at least there, not driving around in a car, moving around. Because if it's Grand Central Station inside of a car, that's a lot of commotion. Could end up in a bit of something gets broken. Well, you got to head to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Just head on over there. Danco Transmission, Danco Joe. Mention Aaron, Ryan, Chad, Grand Central Station. Mention it. Bearcats. But mention CJ Frederick and Zach Tober. How about that as well? But yeah, just mention them. Get 10% off your next fixing, $10 off your next oil change. But that's a good way to lead right into the Cub Calf. Oh, ooh.
There it is. There's the crew.
That's amazing.
Aaron with the locks, man. Those are. I say they're aggressive, but they're nice. They are nice. Golly, they are nice. But yeah, squatted it up. But yeah. Without further ado, Zach Tobes, my man, how are we?
I'm perfect. Better now that I'm with y'all.
There we go.
Stop. You and your sweet nothings.
You're too kind. But
I gotta drop them.
Got to. Topes, we're not going to waste any time, man. From Cub Calf to Cincinnati, man. You've got to give a little love and give a little shout out to yourself first, but of course also to the most recent news that came out today. Kentucky transfer CJ Frederick heads to the portal on Friday, and before you know it, commitment to the Bearcats on Monday. There's a 15-minute video that Chad had, a nice interview with CJ, kind of breaking down the recruitment and whatnot. But, Tubbs, you know a lot about this guy. A big-time shooter, great guy, has a lot of connections around the city. What can you tell us first just about the from what you understand, the recruitment of CJ, and then we'll dive into quite more after that.
So I know CJ talked about it with Chad a little while ago. But yeah, he entered the portal, Friday morning, and it kind of was a whirlwind. He had, whatever school, you name it, was calling him, offering him everything. And, I think he was kind of at the point where he's been through that process before. He's been through the recruiting process, and then he's been, through the transfer portal process and everything. So he kind of, somewhat knew what he wanted a little bit, to an extent. Obviously, you don't necessarily know until you get there and you start seeing what kind of offers you're getting and everything. But from what I know, his phone was blowing up off the hook. If you can only imagine, sometimes you just got to put it down just to kind of get away from it a little bit.
Right.
But it went quickly. And Saturday he was up here. He was actually already coming home for, just to come home for a little bit, and, went over, met with the staff and everything. And I think, that pre-existing relationship he had with Wes was huge. And, made it official to the staff last night, and, made it public today. So it went quick.
So one of the names that we found out was pretty integral in his commitment to and recruitment this time around was Jake Thielen. I think you had a bit of a carryover with Thielen over at Covcath. What can you tell us about Jake, and what you think Jake had a piece in the getting CJ to Cincinnati?
Yeah, Jake's awesome. He's got a great family. I grew up with them a little bit. So my dad actually grew up with his dad. So they've been friends, forever. So, when I was a little kid, we'd be going to hang out, and we'd go hang out with the Thielens and stuff. So I've known him for a long time. Got to play with him 2 years when I was kind of really only one. He was a senior when I was a sophomore, so we had that 1 year overlap before I was on the freshman. He was on varsity, but yeah, so got to play with him 1 year, and then he had a phenomenal career down at Bellarmine. Tried to do the whole play professionally a little bit, and then got into coaching. Fell in love with it. So yeah, he's been instrumental in a lot of things that Wes has been doing. He loves, Wes loved him from the get-go and everything. People can only say good things about him. So yeah, he can, he was really helpful, and he was just another comfort piece kind of, to the whole puzzle that, CJ really knew kind of what he was getting into, and, knew him from before and everything. So I think that's just another piece that really helped.
And then it was funny because obviously then there was the connection with Adam's family, which, is something that Chad mentioned
exactly.
Adams, part of the whole Indiana elite, so a little AAU connection, so just multitude of connections piling in.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it really, everything, it just all helped cement his thoughts, and and he wanted to play for Wes too. So.
I feel like even if you didn't like something that Jake Thielen had to say, all he had to do was smile, and then you'd be like, "Oh, okay, you win, sir. You win."
Exactly. Well, it's fun. It's funny, he used to be like the chubby little kid or whatever, and he was always, always had that baby fat on him, I guess you could say, and everything. And so it's funny to see him.
Grew up to be a beautiful swan.
Exactly.
That's what my mom says. I just got to get rid of this baby fat, and I'll be there. I'll be right there. Ryan, you're muted.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I put on a little self-imposed baby fat after turning 19 years old in college, or some. I think just something in the water. You start drinking it, you just gain some weight. I don't know.
Yeah, you and me both. Must be drinking that same water.
It's not water.
The water, the water. There's hops and barley in it.
Yeah,
They
still have to have water, right?
They call it the
river water.
Freshman 15. Freshman 15 for some people. It was a freshman 40 for me. So
hey, once you got out of all that Jordan gear, Brent, you had to put on.
Hey, man, you know, golly,
Right.
that's true. That is true.
I know. I need to start slimming down.
We'll be good. Go ahead and talk about CJ the player, Zach. I mean, the first time that you kind of saw him play and kind of what you've seen him being able to develop not only at CovCath but at Iowa and at Kentucky.
Right. So the first time I saw him, I was actually still at UC when he was playing for CovCath. And you always it's funny. He didn't even start on the freshman team at CovCath. He was like sixth man on the freshman team at CovCath. And then he really, he put his mind to it. He wanted to do it, and he really put the time in, from his freshman year to his sophomore year, and he was starting varsity as a sophomore and everything, because he really put the effort in. I mean, the work ethic for the kid is just unbelievable. He's the type of kid that you say, hey, you need to go jump rope for an hour a day, every day or whatever to get better. Well, he's going to do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. He always is doing one step more. If you tell him anything and say, hey, this will get you to the next level, he's doing it and then some. And it's been like that ever since I known him. And I kind of got to know him a little better. His senior year at CovCath was my first year removed from UC. And I was helping out, coaching and stuff, kind of assistant JV, assistant varsity coach, just kind of helping out where I could. And you saw that every day. I mean, it was, most high school kids, they come to practice and then they go home and they do whatever. Well, he's, we're all leaving for practice and he's on the gun getting shots up after practice, getting shots up, before school, at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning every day. And, it's crazy. But his work ethic is just unbelievable. And you could see that from an early age too. And it just continued, in college and everything. He took a redshirt year, I was like, hey, we think this redshirt year would be good for you to get, to get stronger, build weight and all that, to be able to battle in the Big Ten. And he was like, all right, all in, let's do this. So he's just that type of person. It showed those 2 years at Iowa where he shot, combined 48% from three, even playing hurt too. Then got hurt again his first year at UK.
Yep.
And I think that's what bothered him this year. He didn't shoot as well, but he's playing with broken ribs and stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had that. I haven't, but from hearing from it, it's like you can't even breathe without it hurting. So you can only imagine trying to play in the SEC with broken ribs.
Yeah.
It's not going to be great, but I think that just shows some of his toughness. He's gonna play through that kind of stuff. He's gonna be there for his teammates and everything. So I can't say enough good things about the kid.
I had bruised ribs once, and that was enough
Oh,
for
yeah.
me. So I can't imagine broken ribs.
Right.
Especially in basketball. If you're a shooter, you're
No.
exposing.
Yeah,
that.
you're extending. Yeah, you're exposing it the whole nine.
Yeah. So I
Um,
mean, that's got to be difficult. But so you were there the senior year. I mean, this is.
mhm.
I know we're talking like 5 years ago at this point, but
Yeah, 2018.
2018. Yeah, but he had an unbelievable season. Set school
Oh,
record.
he had a monster year. Scored 1,000 points that season, or 900 something.
Yep,
He had an unbelievable run in the state tournament too. And Kentucky's, I think, the only one now that does just one state champion for every school in the state. So he had an unbelievable run. I mean, he scored 30, 35 points a game.
Yep.
Every game, just took over. Like you could just see it. There was no there was no messing around with him. Like he wanted that, and there wasn't anyone out there that was going to stop him.
48% from three. His senior
Oh
year
yeah,
in high school.
yep.
That's
Yep,
just
him. Yeah, we had two guys, him and then Aiden Rousset's our coach, one of our coach's sons. They both shot like 48, 49% from three that year. I mean, and they pushed each other, man. I mean, they were both like right next to each other in the gym every day shooting, man. It was awesome to see.
so. Then obviously you went to Iowa. That's when when the injury bug started. You touched on it a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's kind of crazy looking at it. 2018,
Right.
19 missed the whole season with a cracked rib. Then
Yeah.
he missed 6 games that his first year playing. Missed another 4 that next year.
Mhm.
Then, as you mentioned, missed another entire season with an injury.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just almost been like I don't know, freak injuries and stuff like that, like cracked ribs and broken ribs and stuff like that.
Right.
He played through plantar fasciitis his
Yep.
last year at Iowa. Dude shot. I don't know if anyone's had that either, but like there's days where you can barely walk on it. Like he's just doing everything just to be able to walk on it, and played through it shooting damn near 50% from three in the Big Ten. Like,
Yeah.
And playing heavy minutes too. It's not like he was just playing for 2 minutes and then, hit a shot or two and then get out. But he was playing minutes and playing on plantar fasciitis. And then I think he tore his hamstring or his quad. I can't remember. One of the two. That's what it
Where
was.
it came off the
It was
bone.
one of the two. Yeah. His first year at
UK, yeah.
at UK in the fall, before we could really even do anything, get even started. So, and then this past year playing with cracked ribs. So I think that's if there'd be one quote unquote knock against him, it's that
Right.
he hasn't really been able to stay healthy except for I think his mostly his freshman year at Iowa, or his redshirt freshman year at Iowa. But yeah, I mean if he can stay healthy, if he can really work with Mike, and I know UC's got some of the best physical therapy staff and medical staff there is in the country. I mean Bob Mangine and his group, and Mike and the strength staff. I mean it doesn't get any better than that at the college level, so or at any level really. So if he can stay healthy, this year, and I think the sky's the limit for him really.
Craziest thing is though, with how today is with eligibility, he revealed in that interview he had potentially 2 years left.
Yeah, he has 2 years left. I think it's technically his COVID year and then a medical redshirt year.
Yeah,
I guess if you want to call it. So yeah, he'll be eligible right away because he's a graduate transfer, graduated from UK this spring, and so yeah, he's theoretically got 2 years left to play. So which is crazy to think about, So, but that's what it's going to be like in college basketball for at least the next couple years till you start getting out all the COVID guys out of it. But
crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. So you've been able to watch a lot of him. I'm sure you've kept up with him through his college days as well. A lot of people might pin him as just a shooter. Whether it be spot up or in transition, things of that sort. What can you say beyond his game as just a shooter? What do you think are some things that might not be highlighted or that the random fan might not know about his game?
I mean, he's an excellent passer and he's a smart passer. He's always got his head. I mean, he's not an elite passer like a Rajon Rondo or somebody like that. Right. But he's always making the right play, and he's always hitting guys for the right pass at the right time and everything. He's not going to be flashy with everything, but he's not going to turn the ball over. I think at Iowa, 2 years at Iowa, he was top 5 or so in the nation in assists to turnovers. Like he's just steady with the ball, and he can. And I think he's underrated defensively. I mean, he's not an elite athlete by any means. But he knows where to be. He's always going to be in the right spots. He's going to know the defense. So he's going to always be calling out, calling out screens and helping his big guys out and everything. He's always going to be looking for the next rotation and everything like that. So, just because he's not a supreme athlete, he still can get the job done with his smarts.
Yeah. Agree. Aaron, Ryan, anything, boys?
Sounds a lot like me, but with way more playing time.
Tobes, I think people, when you're talking about the portal these days and past relationships, like I think it's important for people to understand UC didn't have a great chance at CJ the first time around, just because the roster was
sure,
there's a lot of turmoil and turnover, but Wes still took the time, still built the relationship. CJ said today to me that one of the hardest calls he had to make was to Wes to tell him that he wasn't coming to Cincinnati. But what does it say to you that he built such a strong relationship in that short window last time? And in turn, that allowed them to get things. And I think I can. Let me be serious here. There was a lot of people that called from Friday to today.
Like that. I mean, like I said before. I mean, you name the school and they called him.
And a lot of them called with very serious intentions and Will Wade type strong ass offers.
Yeah. You want me to go get my blank check over here? Here.
Right. Like
here, CJ. Write your check. Fill out whatever you want, buddy.
It was one of those. I won't say who, but there was a school that said, "You fill out the check, we'll sign it." Basically.
Yep.
And it's the relationship with Wes that he wanted to play for Wes, and I think it just speaks volumes.
Yeah, and I mean to that point, he's not going to UC for free. I mean, UC makes their NIL is good. They got a really good, and I mean it's not the top tier, but they have a really good NIL right now. And but yeah, I mean his prior relationship was everything, man. He kind of got dark, but from recruiting him before and everything. And then when, he loved Wes from the beginning, he loved Wes before and he wanted to play for him before, but it didn't work out. And I don't think it was the right time, he wanted to win right then and there. And, Wes is still trying to build his program. So it's hard to show a kid, hey, this is how we won. This is how we're going to win. So if you're a kid like that, you go to the more known commodity, which I can't blame him one bit at all. But, having said that, Wes made such a strong impression on him the first time that when he called up this time, like he was like, no brainer. Hey, answer the phone. Hey, Wes, how you doing? So, it speaks volumes to that. And, Wes is the type of guy, he's going to make those impressions on everybody's recruiting in high school right now, the kids that he's trying to recruit in the portal now and everything. So it's not shocking that names like this are coming up again, even though it didn't necessarily work out the first time.
You're muted there.
He made mention of this in his interview with Chad, just that obviously having the Big 12 behind you doesn't hurt anything in that recruitment either, as you don't want to necessarily recruit anybody. It's a much harder battle uphill to recruit somebody to the American than it is to, hey, come join the best conference in the entire country, and every single night you're going to have yourself a barn burner.
It absolutely is. And I've heard plenty of stories of guys that UC has been recruiting, not only when, with Wes being here, but when Mick was here, when Brandon was here, and guys just flat out said, I don't want to play in the American. I want to play in the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-12, SEC, whatever. They couldn't even get their foot in the door because kids didn't want to play right. This high level guys. So it's absolutely, it's not the only thing, but it's absolutely, easier to recruit high level kids in the Big 12 than it was in the American. And, a lot of times it just helps you get your foot in the door saying, hey, we play in the Big 12 or Cincinnati, this, that, and the other. And it helps you at least just get your foot in the door. And then that way, West and his staff can get their foot in the door, and then they can build their relationships from there, which they're awesome at. So they can really use that to help. But it's huge.
I'm going to highlight what Matt Lanham said down here. Aaron, if you can throw that up there. Yeah, so that's one of the things that was awesome in the interview with Chad as well.
Mm-hmm.
How, if he was saying if he was a senior in high school, after Wes would give a pitch and build a relationship and whatnot, he'd commit with him right on the spot, which, I mean, only bodes well for the future of recruiting, especially when high school recruiting becomes even more of an art, if you will, with the NIL and transfer portal. So that comment right there was something that also stuck out to me. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he said that earlier to Chad, and he told me that last go around. He said that, and I think your thinking's a little different being a freshman coming in where, hey, I got 4 years, 5 if you do a red shirt or whatever, so you got time to build with that coach. Well, being a transfer is a little different. At the time, he kind of thought he only had 2 years left. So he's like, I don't want to, my college career is halfway done. I don't necessarily want to be on a rebuild team, which I get. So your thinking's a little bit differently. Obviously, stuff kind of worked out how it did, and he still has a little bit of time left. But yeah, absolutely.
I think another thing that's impressive too is, as this is Jake Thielen getting some credit as not just Wes, but we see a lot of different staff on a lot of the different recruits. So it's not always just Wes. It's not always just Mike Roberts. It's Andre. It's Roberts. It's now Jake has entered the fray. It's been all of these different assistant coaches have all helped construct this roster. It's not ever really been the same guys over and over again that are in on these recruits. And I think that's, again, just another feather in Wes's cap as to how well he's built this staff around him.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes to what a lot of kids say. Hey, it felt like family. I mean, when you can really go there and say, hey, I got a relationship with the head coach, 2 of the assistants, the strength coach, the video guy, the DBO, and you come out of it feeling like, hey, like those guys were awesome, man. I had a great conversation with such and such, and he wasn't even one of the coaches, necessarily. So it goes to that whole, family aspect that you're going and you're playing for everybody there, and it's not just one or one guy here or there. It really is a team effort from this staff.
Yeah, it's awesome. You mentioned the first time around when he left Iowa, decided on Kentucky. I mean, that was a bottom 5 of North Carolina, Kansas, Gonzaga, Cincinnati, and Kentucky. That's pretty insane. And then, of course, with the amount of people that were after him, now even
a lot of those same schools,
even with the injury riddled time at down in Lexington, but still, it just shouts to the type of player that people are getting. So the roster construction for the most part on the team right now for the Bearcats next season. How do you see CJ kind of fitting in role wise and kind of just play wise?
I think he slides right into that, that 2 guard position, that shooting guard position. I think they're set kind of at the 1 with Day coming in, Jizzle coming in, and then Mike Adams Woods can handle the ball too, so he can always take over the 1 in a pinch as well when they need him. He's not quite a 3. He's not that long athlete that Wes likes at the 3 spot. But I think he fits right. I think he fits right in there, in that starting 5, that starting rotation, heavy minutes guy. And I think he brings a lot to the team that that wasn't on the team. He's an elite shooter. When he's healthy, he is an elite shooter. I mean, he's top 5 in the country shooter. That's why you saw all those big names calling him and everything. Like that doesn't just grow on trees. No. A kid that can shoot and he's not a stiff either. Or else you'd see a lot more, D2 and D3 guys playing. But Yeah, I think he fits exactly what this team needs. You know, you got Data and Jizzle that are more attacking downhill. Same with Dan Skillings. You know, he's more that attacking type. You know, his shot will start falling, but he's an attacker. You know, you got all your big dudes down low, Reynolds and Vic. So I think he just adds a really nice piece to what Wes is trying to build this season.
And then of course I'll continue on the adding CJ as well. It just spaces the floor, as you mentioned, when
absolutely
just allows Day and Jizzle to get to their spots.
Right, you can't help off on them.
No.
You can't help off, because if you do, then they're finding them wide open, splash, three. So, or if you don't help off on them, then like you said, you know, it opens up driving lanes for all those other guys to be able to attack the rim better.
So with one spot left open, what do you think this roster still needs, by your estimation?
I mean, I still think if you can get that bigger wing, athletic wing that can kind of do a little bit of both, can shoot at a high level, you know, and can attack a little bit, can find other people. I know everybody in the country is kind of looking for that too.
I was gonna say, so you just say we need Landers and Ollie back, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I think he would be, honestly, I think he would be perfect for this team. Exactly what they're another piece that they're needing. Obviously, that's not going to happen at this point. But you know, it's a kid like that, Simus Lukosius, I think it says right.
Yeah.
A guy like him who can, you know, I think he's a true, you know, 3, but he can play the 4. He can play a small ball 4. You know, he's 6'7". He's good size. He can move well. He moves a lot better for his size than he looks like he would. And he can shoot. He can handle the ball in the open court. I mean, you can throw it to him and he could start a break. You know, and he can truly play that, you know, 3-4 position. And I think somebody kind of in that realm, you know, that can kind of be, you know, you can play him at the 3, you could play him at the 2, maybe depending on the lineup, or you could play him at the 4. Somebody like that's a little versatile.
So you played with a lot of good shooters, good players, good Bearcats in your day.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you put up there as pure shooter wise, comparative to what CJ is going to bring, just as a pure shooter?
Pure shooter, Farad Cobb.
Okay.
That dude was money. His problem was he just was, you know, 5'9" or whatever
Right,
it was.
right,
Tiny.
right.
But yeah, if he could, you know, if he was a little taller, man, I mean, he was lights out.
Yeah.
You know, he had a few games where he's hitting, you know, 5-6 threes and stuff like that. So he's, I'd say, you know, at least as a shooter wise, that I played with him for sure.
Okay, yeah, because you were with SK too, but SK was more of a just straight scorer, right?
Yeah, SK was definitely more of a scorer, and he was SK was the guy at the end of the game. You know, hey, get the ball to SK and get out of the way, and he'd either go score, get a bucket. He's doing all that. So their games aren't totally similar, but yeah, I mean, definitely shooter wise.
So this time,
from the perimeter.
Just tell Day to break down the defense and kick it out to CJ.
Exactly. But CJ, you can play him. I mean, he can play in the pick and roll too. Like, he's not just throw him in the corner and have him just stand there. I mean, you can set ball screens for him, and like I said before, I mean, he'll hit guys for passes and stuff like that. Hit them for lobs, and he can dish it too. So he's not just the stand in the corner and shoot guy. I mean, he can make plays too.
Yeah, it was funny. I was watching his highlights at Iowa, and you see Nunji passing
to him. I know. He's good friends with Nunji.
Dude, it's just the amount of connections is just kind of insane, and how everyone's getting older, and now he's here at UC, which is going to be a big time. Going to be a big time.
Absolutely.
So, and anything else on CJ, Aaron, Ryan, Chad? I know you're kind of lurking in the background. Anything more from Toves on Mr. CJ?
I was just hyped to see him get him. I think just grabbing that guy, I know is someone we really wanted to go after, and it kind of just shows that the belief in Wes is there. And I know sometimes a lot of the fans they've been down Wes and down what he stands for. But just seeing a guy like CJ that we went after and it worked, I think it's reassuring that I think to things that we all believe that, Wes has a real thing going here, and he just caught a couple bad breaks, but I'm excited for this season even more now, having a weapon like him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you kind of alluded to it too. I mean, CJ's a guy that, outside of basketball, I mean, he'll be a phenomenal ambassador for Cincinnati basketball and Cincinnati sports in general. He has a ton of connections in the college basketball world, in the Cincinnati, area and everything. So he will be a phenomenal ambassador to promote Cincinnati.
What did you think of him saying Cal was one of the things that pushed him over the top? Like Coach Cal giving Wes his stamp of approval that this would be a good spot for you, a good offense, a good situation.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it just shows the relationship that he had with Cal and the relationships he's made in college sports and stuff like that. And I mean, it kind of shows the guy that Cal is. I know he's gotten a lot of flack lately, but he truly cares about his dudes. And he was looking out for CJ. He didn't want him to just go to a situation where he thought CJ would fail. He was looking out for him, and he wanted him to go to a situation. And it shows that, Cal's been around forever, man. And it shows how much he trusts Wes, and he likes Wes as a coach, and he thinks he's going to be a good one too. So I think it kind of speaks towards both those guys.
Cal probably remembers some of the games against the Bearcats as well, back when Memphis and
yeah,
back in the days. But talk a little bit more about his family real fast. I mean, it's crazy to see the amount of just relatives that played high level Division I sports. Uncle Joe, played basketball at Notre Dame, just over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean he comes from a basketball family and sports family. His dad or his grandpa's in the basically helped build freaking Winton Woods and everything, Charlie Frederick Stadium out there. I mean his family's big in this area, and they're awesome. I mean I've known them for a while now. I've known his Uncle Joe for pretty much my whole life. Grew up with his cousin Nick. And they're awesome, part of the reason why I ended up at UC, pretty much the only reason why I ended up at UC was because his Uncle Joe, knew him growing up and everything. And he connected me with, Coach Cronin and everything. So, I gotta thank them, and him for even being here right now, really. So I owe them a lot. But no, they're great people, man. And, you won't meet a better family out there.
What time did you get your first text message from Uncle Joe this morning? I think mine was at like 7:15.
Yesterday actually.
I just mean once it was done.
Today 6. I call. He texted me at like 6, and I called him at like 6:10, 6:15 at work. When I was at work, I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
He was fired up. He was fired up this morning.
Absolutely, no, it's awesome. I'm excited for him and their family.
CJ, I asked CJ, I'm like, are you going to be on every ad on 700 WLW?
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure he is.
But no, I was talking about, I think me and Chad were talking about that earlier. With, his dad working for Clear Channel and his, Joe works for iHeartRadio and everything and does ads, sells ads for the Bengals, Reds, all that. UC, there's no shortage of NIL opportunities for him in this area. That's for sure. I was actually joking around. So his fiance plays basketball for the UK women's team. She's actually pretty good. I think she started for him. I was joking around with his Uncle Joe at we had an open gym at Cuff Cath earlier this afternoon. I was like, "Hey, does she have any eligibility left? She want to come play?" The women's team's looking for some players, man, but I think she's officially out.
Their package deal.
Unfortunately, right? Exactly.
I'm sure there's a spare COVID year somewhere that she can take, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But Tobes, obviously, not only do you know about Covcath and CJ Frederick and everything, you know quite a lot about a lot of other stuff. I believe you're working on the renovated and men's locker room for the basketball
And women's.
team.
Yep, both.
Yeah, men's and women's locker room for the basketball team.
Mhm.
Any updates on that and how everything's going there?
Yeah, it's going well right now. We finished demo of everything, so they're expanding. I don't know for how many of you guys know. There was a lounge down there that kind of converted during the week to it was called the Arena Club. It converted during the week to like a kind of classroom setting. There's a partition down the middle, so you could split it up in different classrooms and stuff. And then where the lockers rooms were. So we basically blew out the wall there, tore out the Arena Club and everything, and then so it'll be a combo of all that. And essentially, I mean, they're getting 5 times the amount of square feet. Each locker room will be about 5,000 square feet, give or take a couple. So they're going to be huge. You know, there's going to be a nutrition room in each locker room. There's going to be a lounge area, a gaming area in each one. There's going to be a recovery room in each one. Then we'll have like these nap pods and sleep pods and stuff. I think Bob Mangine got the idea from when y'all went down. Did you go to the Cotton Bowl down in Dallas?
Yeah, I was down
Ryan?
there. Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan, were you there?
The team, yeah.
Okay, so did they have like some big sleep pods or something fancy down there?
They had these massage pods that we loved,
Okay.
man. We would sleep
Yeah,
in these things.
yeah.
We'd
Bob,
go down there, fall asleep.
Bob was talking about those and how much he's saying how much you guys love those or whatever. So I think they were going to get one of those for each locker room, something like that.
He's
but
right.
They're
We
gonna,
loved them.
Yeah, they're going to be. I mean, it's going to be nice. There's going to be a hype tunnel in each locker room, so that'll be kind of cool. And then the lockers themselves are going to be, you know, we went to me and the architect probably 2 months ago or so now. We went up to visit the Cleveland Cavaliers lockers because the company that's going to do them did the Cleveland Cavaliers lockers. And I mean, I kid you not. I mean, these things are going to be, I mean, they're NBA level lockers. Like they're big time. So yeah, it's a fun project for me. I love it.
So they're not going to be the size of a middle schooler, like the old locker room?
No, not mine. No, not like ours. We're made out of wood, you know, fake wood paneling and stuff. I mean, these things are going to be legit.
Even after even after the arena was redone, those lockers were not fit for a college athlete.
No, they were just. I think in part of it, I think it was kind of rushed, you know, a little bit because that part they originally weren't going to do They originally weren't going to do the locker room. They were going to leave it as it was, and Mick was, you know, like, no, that's not going to happen. So it ended up being, you know, a change to the project halfway through. So I think they kind of just tried to make something work, and it was, I don't know, it felt tiny in there. I mean, it felt smaller than it was when I was there and everything. It probably was smaller. It had to be. I mean, it felt tiny. So this is definitely like the locker room now, just where the lockers are, is the same size as the entire thing was before. You know, it's unbelievable. So yeah, it'll be super nice. So can't wait.
Going well. That's going well.
Keeping me busy.
There we go. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from the football side of things? Just the team and the way that things are shaping up, and spring practice that you've been able to observe or read about or hear about.
I think they got some momentum going right now. You know, obviously, none of it matters unless the product on the field, unless they're winning on the field. But I mean, I think they got some momentum in recruiting going right now. I think they're doing some good things. I think they're building some excitement and everything. So I'm kind of excited for the year. You know, it's a lot more fun going out and going to a UC Oklahoma game at Nippert than it is going and watching UC versus freaking Tulsa or some shit. But you know, that's it. That goes for football and basketball. That goes for both, really. You know, and you got all these big time programs coming in and programs that care about these sports. Or, you know, some of these AAC programs felt like it just You go to these places and it just felt like they didn't care all that much. But no, I like what I've seen from them so far. But obviously, none of that matters unless the results on the field show. So obviously that can't happen now, but we'll see. I'm excited though. I think he'll run a fun offense. So.
So
Now,
I
you
love
mentioned
football though.
you look like a guy we could have split out a little bit, maybe throw a little jump ball to. I don't know. You ever think about playing ball?
I did. That's one of my biggest regrets in life. I think is not playing football. I probably would have been better at it than I was at basketball. To be honest with you, I wasn't that good at basketball, so it's not really setting the bar very high.
Yeah.
But
it's funny you mentioned that's like the whole like shift. Like I feel like when I was in high school, like college coaches and high school coaches started noticing like, hey, these basketball kids, like they got the frame, they got the athleticism.
right,
Like,
absolutely.
we need to start trying to bring these guys over. Like I remember my football coach, he would try to get some of the basketball guys to sneak on over into football lifting every once in a while to try to see if we could put some meat on those guys. So
our coach, when I was in high school, our football coach, dude, he would come up to me like all the time. It was like once a week at one point, relentless. But I was already so far gone in it or whatever, with all the AAU and different stuff that, it just didn't work out for whatever reason. But yeah, if I could go back and do it again, I for sure would have played.
We'll just call it that you wanted to like spare the AAC. You didn't want to be unfair having you out there with us too. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your old football coach was like, Zach, you can dunk; those are cool. But how cool does a touchdown sound?
Right.
Didn't
I tried to talk to Coriante DeBerry.
Oh yeah.
About him playing. Oh man, he would have been a freaking he was too nice though, man.
The football still would have looked small in his hands though.
Dude, he was one of the strongest dudes I've ever met in my life. Like I'll never forget this. He walked in the first day to the weight room with Mike and everything. Never had worked out in his life, never had lifted. And he walks in, he picks up like an 85-pound dumbbell and just starts curling it like it's a freaking can of soda. Me and Mike were just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what? It was unbelievable. But yeah, I think he could have been a monster at football, but he was too nice. I love Corey, but he is too nice.
We think that Odell Beckham makes nice one-handed catches. I feel like that's all Corey would do is just.
Oh my God, it's like a football would be like a freaking little Nerf ball in his hand.
Right.
Like it's unbelievable. There's a picture somewhere. Mike might still have it on his Instagram of Corey holding a college football, and it just looks like a little kid's toy. It's unbelievable. I think he measured his hand, and he would have had like a top 2 biggest hand in NFL, draft history or something like that. Since
in the history of humankind.
Dude, like it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
I still love the picture. Dan Horde did the outline of Corey's hand, then he put his hand up to it, and it looked like a 5-year-old. And Dan Horde's not a small guy.
No.
And it looked like a 5-year-old. Like the tips of his fingers barely came to like the outside of the palm. Yeah. Coach, they want to know if you can tell us any mixed stories.
Any mixed stories?
No.
Probably not. I don't know if YouTube allows that. Might get the pod kicked off of YouTube for that.
I kind of want to hear because I feel like it's been flirted with for so long, these mixed stories, and I never get to hear them.
I don't, dude. He would it was funny. Like he would be. There was no one that was safe. I'd miss her. I'd be standing there on the sidelines. I'd have to jump into a play or whatever, and I'd miss a rotation or something, and he'd stop the drill and then start motherfucking me. There was no one that was safe at all. But no, he was great. I love playing for Mick, man.
I
He
doubt
was
much has
awesome.
changed.
He's one. I mean, he's one of the most loyal people I've ever met in my life. You know, he'll still to this day. I still talk to him every once in a while, and to this day, I mean, he'll do anything for you. So,
I mean, his press conference quotes even still.
oh God, I love it. I'll send like he'll have some of his press conferences and stuff, and I coach high school over at Cuffcat and head JV coach, and I'll send some of his quotes and stuff to our kids. You know, some of his press conference stuff. Like, I mean, it's so true, man. He shoots you. He'll shoot you straight, man. And Wes is the same way, man. They're not just gonna. They're not dudes that are just gonna tell you what you want to hear, man. They tell you how it is, good, bad, or indifferent.
Going back to Corey, somebody in the chat said, "I remember that video of him palming and picking up a medicine ball."
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like one of those 10 or 12-pound medicine balls or whatever. I forget what sizes they make them in, but it was one of the big. You know, it wasn't like this tiny little one. It was one of those big ones. Like it was a basketball-sized one, and just picked it up. Like unbelievable.
Gosh. Yeah, his little mini
in
run.
a good way.
Oh yeah, in a good way. It's his little mini run against Purdue, and then a little bit against Kentucky in the tournament.
Yeah,
Was like,
and then he balled out. He balled out against St. Joe's too. I think that was the year before, or the year after.
Yeah. Year
he's
before.
back in. He's back in town. I think he's helping out with Shining Stars AU or something.
Okay.
He's around a little bit.
There we go. Well, unless you've got like a few more mixed stories that you can throw out there. Is there anything else that we need out of Tobes, guys?
We just appreciate having him around. I mean,
I know.
It's always fun to have the best GIF in UC history, which he wouldn't have gotten if he had played football, joining the show. So
that's true. I wouldn't have gotten either if the damn ref wouldn't have called a foul on me.
Who was the guard on Houston?
It was Rob Gray.
Rob Gray.
It was Rob
Gray. Rob Gray.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
He got the Jordan treatment and got the foul call when you picked him clean.
Right. Unbelievable, man.
He paid for it later that year, Tobes.
Yeah, I was gonna say karma came back to haunt Rob Gray in the AAC championship game.
Yeah, that was the year after.
Year after, yeah.
Yeah, when he threw the ball away. That was a legit. He threw the ball away on that one.
Yeah.
Right out of bounds. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, buddy.
See ya.
Go. Well, I guess all that's left is
you and your stupid man bun can get to stepping.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. God, unbelievable.
I guess, Tobes, you just got to let us know when those nap pods / massage pods are installed, so we get like a little BCJ and
little BCJ team nap sesh.
We get a little team nap in there and see how.
Yeah.
See if it works at least.
Yeah, exactly. I want to try them out. I want to see how great they were.
Can't wait.
I love me a good nap.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing the sleep apnea numbers are high in this bunch.
Not me, believe it or not.
Recently it does suck. I'll sit down and like watch a movie or show I'm excited about, and like freaking 10 minutes in, I'm just like,
oh, that's me right there. And I wake up every morning feeling like I get hit by a truck. It's
right.
miserable. But...
Exactly. Oh well. Well, Chad, Aaron,
appreciate you, brother, as always.
Hey, great meeting you.
Yeah,
love getting to
good meeting you too, Ryan. Hey, miss y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. Appreciate it.
Two of the most legendary walk-ons in UC history, right here.
Yeah, we got the team up. We got the collab right now.
Hell yeah!
We got to figure out when we get that super secret walkthrough through the new locker room and eventually the practice facility.
I mean, if it's anything like last time, it'll be a couple weeks before things are. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know
Logging off.
Appreciate you, Tubbs. Love you, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Hey, do I get some pig or what?
Yeah, you want some?
Yeah.
What you want, like a back strap or something?
A shoulder or something?
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
What'd you do?
My dad's finishing cutting it up. Chad, can you pull up that picture I sent you? Or no?
It'll take me a second to get it where I need to get it. But
got you.
Hold on.
I went
boar hunting?
down in Georgia this past weekend. So I was kind of
right.
I was actually sitting in a tower blind in the middle of a field in the middle of the swamp in Georgia when CJ posted his
into the portal
transfer
into the transfer portal announcement. So it's kind of funny. Barely had any service down there. And
how many did you get?
I just shot one actually, just the one on Saturday night. She actually shot it in the dark. It was at like 9:30 at night. So that was kind of a neat experience. Never done anything like that. Kind of grown up hunting my whole life and stuff. So
that's cool.
Never shot anything.
There's no limit on those down there,
right? Not technically. They do 2 per day, because they made a whole. I mean, this place had like 8,000 or so acres down there, and so they're all wild and they're all an invasive species, but they make money off of it and everything, so they don't want you just killing everything, so they limit you to 2 a day down there. But I don't know if there is an actual. I don't think there is an actual limit on them.
You got like
just their self-imposed limit.
I was just trying to filibuster anyway, so mission accomplished.
Oh damn!
Jeez. That's a big one.
It's like 200 pounds.
It's impressive, but it's no mountain lion with your bare hands.
I was gonna say you got to link up with Derek Wolf.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not that cool yet.
God damn it, Brent.
I got 2. My wife wasn't very happy with me though. We have 2 pet pigs. And so she wasn't too happy with me, but yeah.
There you go. That's Tobes with the. I mean, I know the shoulder is probably going to be the one everybody's asking for.
Exactly.
I just want something to put on the smokers. So whatever you can get me, I'll take.
I got you.
I did some ribs tonight. They were delicious. So
yeah, they had a nice set of pork ribs on that boar right there, but I don't know. Pork ribs aren't the greatest, but
you're saying you don't like pork ribs?
I mean, I do, but they're just not as good as beef ribs.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's because beef ribs are like 4 times the size of pork ribs.
Exactly.
A lot more meat.
Right. Exactly.
Tobes is like twice as tall as you, so of course he wants more meat.
Fair.
Yeah, I need to fill me up.
Yeah, but I weigh just as much as him, so
I was trying to avoid that joke.
Someone's got to check this combo. Fill him up with the extra meat.
Pause.
Oh shit! All right, man. We'll talk soon. Love you, brother.
Cool. Appreciate it. Love y'all. See you.
See you, man.
Later.
Oh.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Who had to hit our guests with fill them up with extra meat?
Yeah.
I can't go unchecked. I learned that way too much from my days in the football locker room. Every goddamn thing is fucking checked on.
Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom. See,
I mean, look, if you get Tobes on for an hour talking about a transfer and one he knows as well as he does. That's almost as good as the 15 minutes we got from CJ today, which I thought was really, really insightful into who he is and kind of what makes him tick and why he's coming to Cincinnati. I deeply appreciate him for is that a lot of guys like you do something like that. you go over the parameters early, and they're like, "Well, I don't really want to get into this. I don't really want to get into that." But CJ was like, "Nah, man, fire away. We'll talk about whatever we talk about," and it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, CJ seemed like he's not only bringing in a good player, but good character guy. Seemed like he, obviously has some sort of past in interviewing and knowing how to talk to the media and stuff, which only bodes well for what you're going to have as a pretty integral part to the team.
Yeah.
Not only this year, but potentially 2 years if things go that way. So, Chad, what was your main takeaway after the interview with CJ that kind of maybe you didn't know going in before, or that he kind of explained further that you were like, wow, this is a pretty cool thing?
I mean, I knew most of that, which is like I had kind of gotten the backstory of how everything had been playing out behind the scenes as it was happening. So nothing really surprised me, but just more than anything, just how well put together he was. Not a surprise for the kid that's been, he's from a great family. He's been in college basketball for a long time now. Nothing really shocked me from that part, but just I think it gives you a good look at the type of person that's being added to the locker room. And I think, that's going to be a big plus for this roster going forward. I think he's going to be a great addition.
Also,
sorry, I know it's getting loud in the other room. I know. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Seamus Lukosius finished up his visit over the weekend as well. I'm sure that's. I don't have any personal update on that, but hopefully things continue to trend a certain direction there.
I mean, I was told early this week, which could, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I think the interesting question is going to be, how ready is he to fight for a spot if he does come here? I mean, you're looking at a roster now with 12 guys. Is he a guy that thinks I'm going to come in here and be a starter on this roster, or is he a guy that looks at the roster and says, where do my minutes come from?
Right.
And I think that'll tell you like what he's looking for out of this, this move for him. If he's looking to play on a roster with a lot of really good players, and come in and compete for that spot and potentially win it, I think, you like what you see from him. If he's maybe thinking a place like BYU is going to afford him a quicker path to playing time, he'll take that route. And I don't think there's a wrong or right answer in there. That's not, that's just when you're talking about transfer portal, everybody's got a different view, a different perspective on what they want out of it. We're going to find out from him, is he looking to come in and grind this thing out, or maybe looking for a path of less resistance in terms of, guys potentially ahead of him on the roster? I can see where it would be a little interesting, right? Like you're looking at, they just got CJ, who's a wing. You've got Dan Skillings, who's a wing. Josh Reed is in the fold. Joe Newman is in the fold. I can see a guy looking at that roster and going, well, where exactly do I fit here? And what's it going to look like for me coming in? Because I'm a guy that has started for 2 years, and played a lot of minutes. So I think he would be a top of the roster guy, but it's how does he see himself? And I was talking to somebody about it today, and they said, look, like in the Big 12, every team's got 8 starter level players, essentially. So you better come in with 8 starter level players. And, if that's not what you're looking for, it's not what you're looking for. So we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting to see like what he prioritizes as he makes his decision.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State was the other team he took a visit to. So
Oklahoma State.
Yeah. So we'll see. As the final 3 of BYU, Oklahoma State, and Cincinnati. Obviously, you're gonna see Lukosius one way or another, whether it be on your team or on another team in the Big 12. So that'll be something to track.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. So you're certainly going to be seeing him.
Do we have other targets we're talking to if they miss on Seamus? Yes. Did they have other targets they were talking to or targeting if they missed on Estrada? Well, one of them committed today. There's always irons in the fire. It's just a matter of how they play out.
There you go. There you go. Ryan, what are your thoughts on CJ breaking down a little bit more? Kind of local dude coming back home again and all that.
I think that's key. I know that's with football. We really looked at getting local guys to come because I think it means a lot to have guys not only just from Ohio but from the area. Because what I've come to know playing football here was that Cincinnati's different from the whole state. It's a different attitude. It's a different sense of pride, and just bringing a guy that kind of has a chip on his shoulder back to somewhere where he has a lot of pride to be at. I think that's a really good parlay for success. I'm excited. Like I talked about earlier, I think it's a good sign of the status of the program and what Wes and them are doing and how they really do have good momentum, and they're getting guys that have been in top programs to buy into that. So I think it's a huge sign for the great things on the horizon. Now we just got to go win some games, and I think CJ is going to help us with that. Just got to knock on wood, stays healthy. I think we're going to get a ton of production from him. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times we've talked about it, Chad. You and I have a couple times. Just how, if you don't get the recruit the first time around, in today's day and age, don't burn that bridge. Keep that bridge, and if that player does end up having his name entered the transfer portal, then you still have that familiarity and that previous connection, and you're able to kind of just rekindle that right away. So, Ryan, I think we saw that a lot on the football side of things, as you were mentioning. And so it's interesting to see it come to fruition on the basketball side this time, especially with a staff that took over, 2 years ago, and being able to build that connection that quickly. And then all of a sudden, right as he enters the portal, it was kind of a foregone conclusion after one meeting with Wes and co that things are going to go well. So it's pretty awesome. As far as past that, I know Wes, I think after, the meeting with CJ, it was instantly at the AAU event this past weekend, was checking out Floyd Badunga from what I was able to see on Twitter and whatnot. So the man Wes was staying busy all weekend, and the staff as well for that part. So
Worldwide Wes.
Yeah, sure. Part 2, I guess. Part 2. Anything else on the basketball or recruiting front? I know I think it's kind of, there wasn't much else that really cropped up over the weekend or over the past week on that side other than CJ Frederick and the Lukosius visit.
Flory had a day.
Okay, break it down for me, Aaron.
Well, I just know he had a weekend.
That's what he does. There's nobody that can stop him.
I was cleaning my glasses.
Did you fog up on them?
No, they had Brinnick's fingerprints all over them. But yeah, he puts up points, he puts up rebounds, he puts up blocks. Like, he's just a stat machine. And I don't even know what tournament it was because AAU circuit hasn't actually started up, right?
Oh yeah, this was the first open weekend for coaches. So He was at the Adidas event in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which I did not know is apparently right across the state line from Wichita. I was unaware that Wichita and Council Bluffs were sister cities. So, yeah, but he was impressive. He always is.
Always. One thing for me that I thought was pretty cool when just kind of reading up and watching highlights is that it looked like he was making kind of an effort to try and shoot a little bit. I extend his
little mid-range stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and because I mean, from what you see in the high school tape is just a lot of just dunks and just dominating inferior opponents. So,
well, he's not playing 6'4" white kids from a cornfield in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. Like, he's playing high-level AAU guys. He's going to have to expand his game some.
Yep. So seeing that and just the other nuances that is intriguing not only to the college level but to the NBA level as well, just kind of bodes well for his development. And, I mean, if he can knock down a consistent mid range jumper, I just it's kind of scary to
Oh
think.
God. Oh God.
In
If he
two
can force you
games,
to guard him at 15 to 17 feet, oh goodness.
Sure.
in 2 games, he averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6.5 blocks.
I mean, he is a shot blocking machine. A
Adidas.
machine.
Absolute machine. Chad, were there any other names that you know of at this early point?
I haven't
early
had
juncture?
really a chance to
Yeah.
to dive into a lot of that stuff. There was a lot of
Right.
CJ stuff going on today when I normally would have
Check
been
it
making
out.
some AAU calls, and I didn't keep up with anything Saturday and Sunday. It's been a whirlwind over the past 3 days, but I'll get on it. Like we'll get some stuff up on the board on some new names that popped off and some of that stuff as we get into Wichita. It's Omaha. Sorry, Brian. I know you live out in that area. I meant Omaha. Council Bluffs, Iowa, and Omaha, Nebraska are right across from each other. That's what
Chad, you were just trying to do the Peyton Manning Omaha.
Omaha.
Not
Wichita.
There you go.
There
you go. There you go. All right, let's.
Smith.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just looking there. You look up Flory on Twitter, and it takes you down a whole rabbit hole of all of his highlights. And my goodness, I was just shaking my head because he's uber talented. And every time I watch, it's just the windmill dunk he had this weekend, and some of the post stuff where he was just flicking it. Just I don't know. Kid's good.
Kid is quite solid. There's no doubt about that.
I agree. I concur. I said, I watched him for about 90 seconds last spring and tweeted out that I was watching a lottery pick that nobody knows about. And now he's the number. And it's just so my point not being that I'm good at evaluating talent. My point being it's just so obvious when you watch him play that he is significantly better than anybody else that's on the court with him. Like he's just a freak.
And he's showing it yet again, over and over again.
He will spring and summer.
He will. Well, timestamp this and roll into football. I know we got some quick NFL draft talk, and then as well as little recruiting tidbits.
Quick Paper Supply provides mostly disposable restaurant supplies, products like to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins, etc. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. I'll be back briefly.
Okay. Ryan, NFL draft this weekend. There has been quite a lot of talks around what players might be picked, what players might not be picked for Cincinnati, this, that, and the other. I'm going to set we're going to do a quick over-under segment real fast. And because Aaron and Chad are away, I need to hear over-under 5.5 Bearcats getting their name called by the end of the draft on Saturday.
I'm going to go with under. I'm going with 5.
Okay.
That's my guess.
5 on the dot. Care to throw out the names you think?
I think we're going to get Wiley, Lenny, Arquan. There's 3. Trey Tucker, Tyler Scott.
Ivan. There's 6.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Ivan. I'm going to replace Ivan with Arquan.
Okay.
I'm going to stick by my 5.
Okay. Aaron, are you going over under that 5.5?
I'm going to go 5 as well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say that it's not because I don't think Lenny is draftable. It's simply because tight end is so deep this year compared to recent years. I just don't know that anybody, when it gets that low, that anybody's going to spend a pick for a Lenny Taylor when there have been so many other tight ends taken already in the draft. So I'm going to say Trey and Tyler, Josh Wiley, Arquan, and Ivan.
Arquan sneaking in. I like it. Being an optimist, give me the over. Damn, I hope to hear 10 names called. Let's get a Van Fossen as Mr. Irrelevant and let him have a blossoming career. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see because it does seem like last season there were kind of the known players going into the draft that are gonna have the size, have the attributes you want to be drafted to the next level. And then this year it's like, I really like this guy, but he's a little short. I really like this guy, but he's not quite as fast as we want him to be. We really like this guy, but the production wasn't quite there in the college ranks. Is this something that you guys have kind of seen as well? With this draft class at least.
Well, I mean, Ivan, I think, was probably example number one where they love his production and the size isn't quite where you want a linebacker to be.
Right.
But that said, the guy gets it done. I mean, it doesn't matter who he's lining up against. He finds a way to penetrate past the defensive line or offensive line and get to the quarterback, find the ball. Good luck if you get past the defensive line because there's Ivan Pace waiting in one of the gaps. So I don't know. I mean, it seemed like even when they were finding like game planning around Ivan Pace, he was still finding ways to get to the ball and be a disruption. So I don't know that can't necessarily quantify that. That's not something that you can put on as you're putting down your measurables and things that you look for. I think that whoever gets him is going to get a steal. And I think that he's going to continue to do what he does. And that's just put up numbers that nobody can explain because it doesn't make sense with the prototypical linebacker.
Just a damn pure football player. Titans, Eagles, Bengals are some teams I think that have talked to Ivan that at least I saw just rummaging through. I know Wiley went in for a top 30 visit with the Packers a couple weeks ago. I think the list just continues to develop and see who can make their last cause and see if they can hear their name called at some point this weekend. I really do hope Arquan does get his name mentioned. I think we were talking about this at the Village bar, Village Tavern on Saturday. Just a great guy. Had some injury issues early in his career, kind of hobbled his beginning, but was able to kind of learn under the tutelage of Sauce and Kobe, and then all of a sudden had his chance to kind of shine at numerous times. So it would be awesome to hear Arquan's name mentioned. But yeah, we'll see. Another slew of former Bearcats heading into the NFL. It starts obviously Thursday, round 1, and then all the way through Saturday. So that could be a lot of fun through the draft and something that we'll continuously monitor and mention on BCJ. So that'll be fun. That's past Bearcats. Let's talk future Bearcats. A bunch of commitments happened last week. Aaron, I know you and Chad kind of broke down some of them, but I mean, Tuesday was Quay Birdsong. Wednesday, Simeon Coleman. Also Wednesday, Cale Woodburn. Friday, first team on name, Zaravion Gravy Johnson, and the Auburn transfer Tarvarish Dawson. So we're talking a bunch of commitments through the football team and whatnot. Anything just broad thoughts from you guys just in regards to the amount of new players coming in and kind of just the overall level of talent that they've been adding as well.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm excited about the Auburn transfer. I know we need depth now, like immediate help in the wide receiver room. So I'm hyped about that. I'm hyped about the corner because he's got that long body frame that you're seeing a lot of like it's like the new NFL frame. You saw Sauce really embody that really well, and not saying this guy's going to be a Sauce, but he's got the Sauce frame, and just seeing that really piques my interest. But those are the only two that I really noticed, so to say. So I mean, granted, I could spend some more time looking into it, but those guys really kind of stuck out to me.
I mean, 6'6" tight end. That doesn't do anything for you. Built in the Josh Wiley frame there.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, you're right.
You also have to be excited though about guys like Cale Woodburn and Dakari Anderson as their blazers. They just can flat out run, both of them, and they're again when you're short in your wide receiver room, and both these guys are slot guys, whereas before the Auburn transfer, we only had 2 slot guys in that room. The what's Tavarish? Is that it? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he becomes the 3rd slot guy in the wide receiver room, and now you add 2 more there. So yeah, I mean it's coming together. You already have the highest by leaps and bounds recruit in. You said it's Quay. Is it pronounced Quay or Qua?
In QUA. What do we think?
I don't know. I'm gonna go Qua for fun. I think that's way more fun to say than Quay. It sounds like the song of a bird, right? Qua.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I mean, the staff's putting together a good class already. It's fun to see us right next to at least when last I'd seen, we were right next to Wisconsin as far as the rankings went, which, like I brought up on the nightcap, maybe the grass isn't so green up there in the Big Ten. Just saying, but it is what it is.
I do want to touch on the transfer from Auburn that Ryan you were mentioning a little bit. I like Dawson out of high school had Arkansas, for Florida State, Illinois, Iowa State, Kentucky, Louisville, Maryland, Miami, Florida, Mississippi State, NC State. I mean Texas A&M, South Carolina. We're talking like a heavy amount of offers. Was one of the top players in the state of Florida, and you watch his tape and you see a lot of what we mentioned, with Cale and Dakari. Just the ability to run away from the defense and have that second level speed and a bit of a track star, if you will. And Aaron, I know you and Chad were mentioning about it on the nightcap, but Ryan, what does it mean to lose obviously Trey and Tyler, but then all of a sudden go out there and add someone who hasn't quite produced yet in the college ranks, whether it be the situation in Auburn or whatnot, but being able to kind of replace him with the high level speed that he's going to bring.
Speed kills, man. It's one of the best ways to get on the field. If you can move, coaches can teach you how to run routes. It can teach you how to get open and utilize your gift, because it's what it is. It's a gift, and you can train as much as you want, but you're barely going to make a dent. It's just he's got that naturally born athleticism to be able to run, and that's like crucial for the slot position. You see what Trey's done with it. It's crucial for our team next year to have someone who can fill that speed role. And when you got that many offers, man, that means you're athletic. That means you could play, and sometimes things just don't work out. And with Auburn, it's they got a new coaching staff a couple years ago, and sometimes guys can get lost in that process. And being able to go find him and someone that has that kind of talent, I think it's big. I think he's gonna make a big difference. I think him and Barry are gonna push each other, and I think that's gonna be great for the receiver room.
Oh yeah, be awesome. One last thing to touch on before we move on to the mailbag. Obviously, some names did enter the portal since the last podcast. The headliner, that being Ben Bryant. Obviously, there's a lot to look into there. Chad and Aaron, I think you guys already touched on that a little bit. Ryan, obviously, you have a very close connection with Ben. Just from what you can disclose or your thoughts on just seeing Ben's name enter the portal.
I was shocked because he hadn't mentioned anything of it before. I think it was kind of something that kind of crept up on him, and like he gave some thought to, kind of just trying to have his options open. I know he doesn't want to leave Cincinnati. He loves it. He wants to be the quarterback, and Chad tweeted that out, and Chad's 100% right. That is the truth. I can confirm it with every bit of knowledge that I have. That's the truth, and I think Ben wants to play in the NFL, and you're not going to play in the NFL being a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about it last week, kind of how the portal and the landscape of college football and NIL has kind of opened up a lot of opportunities for kids to be, I use the word selfish, but not in a negative way, but being able to like prioritize like themselves and their future. And I don't think Ben is being a bad teammate by opening himself up to opportunities in the portal, because if he's smart. I mean, they got Emory here. They paid him a good amount of money to be here, and it's gonna, they're probably gonna want to, like, if it's even, like, they might go with Emory just because that's kind of like why they went out and got him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that might not be right. He might not be the best quarterback. It's just you got to be, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, especially nowadays with college football, where it kind of lets you have a lot of baskets open for options. So. Yeah. I know Ben's going to keep battling. He's going to fight to be the starting quarterback, and I have every faith in the world that he's going to be a loyal and good teammate. And whatever happens, and I wish him the best, whichever it is.
Of course, Jaheim, we already touched on him. Morion Smith, a couple other names that Aaron, I think you guys kind of highlighted in one of the nightcaps as well. So,
yep.
You look just over there at beautiful Boulder, Colorado, and just see how max exoduses are common. Cincinnati is not going through, not common, but they are possible. Cincinnati's not going through that by any means. But people enter the portal after spring. What?
I'm glad you corrected that. I wouldn't say common either.
No. Oh no. But there is. You do see some teams have a fair amount of guys into the portal. Not as much as Colorado. There's no doubt about that. But Cincinnati already extended some offers to some of the Colorado names that were out there. The whole portal thing, it's just something that's here. It's going to be here, and it's going to be an opportunity for players to go out and find opportunities that they fit and the ones that they think most suit them. And it might not be, the place where they are, or it might be they go test the waters and then give a call back and say, hey, I'd like to come back if that's still a possibility. And so we'll see. It's ever changing, man. Ever changing. Anything else out of you two? I think we've got.
I was just gonna say, like, it's this is a process that happens a lot with new staffs. They have their guys, they have their visions, and sometimes they might not always align with some of the players that are still on the team from old regimes. So It doesn't mean that the sky's fallen. It just means that sometimes, especially now, I think it might be encouraged more than it was before, because you have the portal, you have the NIL, where it gives guys a way better opportunity to leave and go find better things for them if it's not going to work out to what's going on at Cincy with what the new staff thinks. So it's kind of like, hey, this is where you stand, and this is what we think. If A, B, C doesn't happen, you might not having a good chance of playing and getting what you want out of this. So we're not going to look down on you, but if you want to go in the portal, it might be what's best for you and the team. It's kind of like conversations like that. And but this sky isn't falling. It's normal. Fickle and them did it to the Tuberville's guys. It's just kind of how it is.
I agree. Cass Simmons already tweeted out the eyeballs and earlier this afternoon. So it's that the staff and the recruiting staff are always rocking, always rolling. So I'm sure that more news will continue to file in throughout the week and stay locked into BCJ and everything to get all that up-to-date stuff. Aaron, you got anything else on football recruiting, anything of that sort?
Nope, but I do have the quick paper supply timestamp ready to go.
Boom.
Quick paper supply for your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Call Nick at 513-470-2029. Reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. Again, that's quick paper supply, taking care of the timestamp before we get into the ever popular mailbag. The mailbag's a little full, finally. It's been a while.
Okay.
So glad we're only at one and a half hours at this point as we get into the mailbag here.
We did meet the Yo Adrian this weekend, so
we did.
This would be where that part would come in potentially in the future. So continuously teasing here on the BBP, but Aaron, I guess BBP mailbag it up if Chad hears it and has a good answer. I'm sure he'll chime in.
So starting off with the football portion of the mailbag, I realize the roster is still greatly in flux, but what is a realistic goal for next season? Bowl eligibility, 8 to 9 wins. Ryan, you are the only one of us who have played on the UC football team. We'll start off with your opinion here.
Expectations, fighting for a bowl game. If we can get over 6 wins, I think it'll be above expectations, sadly. Pains me to say it.
Gonna see us in like the mayonnaise bowl, like the whatever, the Duke mayonnaise bowl or something like that, or
I don't know what all the alignments are, but it'd be something like similar, kind of like how we played Virginia Tech in the Military Bowl when they were 6-6.
Well, I'd like to think that the Big 12 is a little bit better offers for bowl games than the.
Yeah, I just don't know exactly which ones those would be, but they wouldn't be the cream of the crop. No Peach Bowl or playoff, so that's for sure.
Aaron,
Brent, what you got?
Oh, you first? Me?
Either way.
Oh man. Well, I'm going to continue to be the optimist and think that they continue to add more pieces. I mean, you break down the roster. The schedule. EKU, Miami of Ohio at home. Those are going to be wins. That game at Pitt is going to tell us a lot. Week 2 at Pitt. If you win that game, then you know the vibes will be a lot higher, and the momentum heading into the Big 12 will be something. You know, then you got first Big 12 game at home against Oklahoma, at BYU, home versus Iowa State and Baylor, at Oklahoma State, home versus UCF, at Houston, at West Virginia, and at home versus Kansas. It's arguably an easier, one of the easier schedules of the Big 12 teams. You play all the new teams coming into the Big 12 for the first time this season. I know someone mentioned in the chat that we were picked to finish last in some poll or something that came out, but you know what? Give me 6 to 7 wins, and then a bowl game, and then we beat a North Texas or something in the bowl game to get up to 8 wins.
I guess here's what we know about the team is this is not the same team from last year. Mm-hmm. What we don't know about this team is what Emory Jones looks like with this offense, this team. We don't know that all the pieces that are going to be starters for this team next year are even here yet. We'll see what this staff is able to do with the transfer portal, as they obviously still want to add some pieces in. So while it's way too early to tell what this team's going to be able to do, as things currently stand, I'm with Ryan. I think being realistic, that I'm hopeful that they find a bowl game to play in. But that's without knowing the hell we have.
Yeah. I mean, once, like you said, people come in, take a look at the roster again, kind of see how things are at higher ground the first couple of days. Then you can make a more accurate statement. Yeah.
Where things currently stand, if this was a team that we had going into the season, then yeah, I think I'd be very impressed if we figured out a way to get into a bowl game. But I have no idea. I don't know what this team's going to look like in, 3 months from now as they're getting ready to check into Camp Higher Ground. So we'll see.
Looking over it again, give me the 8 to 9 wins. Give it to me.
Of course.
I'm fine with it. Give it to me.
Moving on. As of right now, what happens more next year? Losses at home or wins on the road?
Wins on the road. I'm not gonna. This team's not gonna lose a bunch in Nippert Stadium until I see it.
Right. I mean, road games are Pitt, BYU, OK State, Houston, and West Virginia. So not really the hardest road slate, but still, it's going to be tough for the team to really pile on the losses at Nippert, like Chad's saying. So I agree with Chad there.
Well, tally me up another one on that. So that makes 3 of us. Ryan, what you got?
I'll join the crew.
All right.
Join the ranks.
We're not here to watch Cincinnati lose at home. Another one from UC Merck. How close do you all think you could stand near the jugs machine with it on its fastest speed and catch a pass? I think this is the most likely thing the program would let you do.
15 yards.
I have no idea.
On its highest, really on the highest speed?
Yeah, my hands are pretty good. I'm not fast anymore, but my hands are pretty good.
I'm not trying to catch a 50-mile-an-hour pass of a football from 15 yards away. I just don't want to do it.
I'm not trying to do it either, but the question is,
I don't want to find out.
How fast could I catch a pass?
I don't want to find out what a football to the face feels like. So
I don't either, but I think I could do 15 yards.
I'm going to go a nice 35 yards away, and I'm just going to leave it there. If I can do
That's
it
like
once,
a punt.
Look, if I can do it once from 35, I'm good. I'm going to walk off the field with my head held high and not bruised.
No one's going to Jabril Peppers it. Man hands challenge.
Just right there.
No.
Sever your fingers off.
How far do you have to be, Royer?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever I never did the jogs when I was when I was in Cincy, that's for sure.
Royer's like 10 yards away. I'm catching it with my teeth.
Yeah. Stick it right in the face mask, right in the hole, just catch my head.
The jugs machine feels better than a fan ever did. I got this.
There you go.
Nobody went to the hospital from the jugs machine.
I'm sure you could. If you put your temple right up against that thing, it might kill you.
You're dead.
You can try it out, though.
No.
Brent, what you got?
So what? You think they're about 5 yards away, what they were doing after practice, right? The Michael Youngs of the world.
When
they're like 10 yards, 8 to 10 yards.
Right, 8 to 10, roughly around there. I see Chad's 15 yards. I'll go 14. How about that?
Okay. 14.
He just prices righted you.
Yeah. $1.
$1.
All right. This mailbag looks light for the offseason, so let's get off topic. They've all been light this offseason. Booches. If you guys were to coach one position group, what would it be? No linebackers or special teams for Royer.
Running back seems like the easiest, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I'd say either running back or safety.
I don't know, man. Like, safety was like the most steady position of your defense through the whole Fickle era, right?
Yeah.
Wig, Defoe, Cook, like,
yeah,
those are dudes.
Lost your boy Dingle out of that room.
The retirement.
Early retirement.
R.I.P. the boy.
Well, he's not dead, thankfully.
I know. Dingle.
Neck injuries.
I got. Not that it's like funny, but just Dingle with the neck brace walking around Jefferson is some of the funniest shit I've seen in a while. He'll like wear his hoodie and I'll try to cover it up with his hood, and it's just so fucking funny, dude. And now that he's retired, he'll still like be drinking beer and just with the neck brace, hood up, just looking like a clown.
One of the comments, Natalie says, running back coaches can just show YouTube videos and get by, right?
No comment.
What's this one? Is this one was I a witness to this?
There's a rumor that the previous running back coach used to have the guys watch YouTube videos.
Oh, really? I'd have to ask the boy Cope.
He ain't gonna tell you, or he's not gonna let you be on the record with him telling you.
Let's go.
I think I'd want to be the star position group because there's only 2 people in the room, and one of them is Deshaun Pace, and he's going to be very good as a star, and Taj Ward also going to be very good. So I don't think you can really mess that one up, at least not this year.
That's fair. I won't argue too much with that one.
Fair. I'll hang out with the quarterbacks. I'll be quarterback coach.
What are you going to teach a quarterback?
Hey man, how to succeed on and off the field, brother.
Unbelievable.
That is not what I asked, sir.
He's hoping Ben doesn't go anywhere. He can just throw Emery and or Ben out there, and he'll just be fine.
Just learn it, guys.
Throw a ball.
Throw the ball. Learn from the upperclassmen. Just learn it. Go out there.
Oh, Christ.
But probably D-line. There you go.
All right. That is the football portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the basketball portion. Are we still going after Somto, Cyril, or did we shift focus to Flory? I don't know that there was a shift. I think I don't know. I don't know that are they done with Somto?
That one doesn't seem to be trending in the Bearcats' direction. I mean, that doesn't mean necessarily they won't try to circle back around and make another push, but I get the sense right now Providence is trending pretty hard for Somto. So
with their new coaching staff.
They hired somebody pretty connected to him, from my understanding. So
weird. It's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, if you can do that and get your guy, way to go about things.
Any insight as to the current planning or thinking for an in-season MTE this year? What would y'all like to see?
I can't really comment on that currently. If I had to guess, it'll be something on campus. I can just say that. And we'll leave it there.
Isn't that something that they're allowing teams to do now?
I mean, you've always been able to. Mick held one on campus.
Was it like a feeder thing, or was it like, where it's like the on-campus games before you head out, or was it kind of just
like you can have your MTE on campus?
Okay.
I think there was a team they really wanted to maybe have kind of headline an MTE on campus, and then that team's not really an option anymore, I don't think, for complicated reasons.
All right. With the announcement of Ohio State and West Virginia playing at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland this season, would West be interested in doing something similar to continue building the fan base?
Probably not until they get situated and comfortable in the Big 12 and see what everything looks like. I mean, now, they're talking about they're going to have Big 12 teams play other Big 12 teams that they don't play twice in a neutral site event in November to start the season. Kind of a Big 12 challenge, which I think is hilarious, and it doesn't count to your conference record.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. So, you're going to have the teams you play twice, and then of the couple teams you play once, they're going to have a 2-day event somewhere where the teams that only play once will play each other in like a one-off neutral site type deal. So it's literally going to be the Big 12 challenge.
I mean, the way that was worded at first, I was like, are these like exhibition games? Like I was.
I also thought they were exhibition games.
Yeah, no, I was like, it's going to be a regular. It's going to be a non-conference
tournament of sorts.
No, it's not going to be a tournament. It's going to be like everybody plays one game. So it's going to be like you're playing. It's going to be a Big 12 challenge at a neutral site, essentially.
Okay, it is neutral because I was going to be pissed if that was the trip to Fog Allen Fieldhouse was the season
non-conference. No, I think it's going to be neutral.
Okay. Yeah, that is interesting. And as far as the other event on the previous question, my answer to that will always be the Maui Invitational because that is awesome. And I think as long as the team keeps rolling, then hey, one day you head back to Maui
every like 8 years.
Right, exactly.
I feel like if they're going to do this Big 12 challenge where they have it at a neutral site, just move the neutral site every year so you're building fans around the country, right?
Yeah, but you've got Yormark wants to establish the Big 12 in New York City.
Gosh.
Like that is something that is very high. Remember, like he helped build the Brooklyn Nets, like when the Nets moved to Brooklyn. So, they're doing the Rucker Park thing this summer. Like he's going to focus on getting the Big 12 into New York City.
Are you going to have it at Madison Square Garden then?
Or Barclays.
Or Barclays, yeah.
Barclays court is gross, that gray.
Can you imagine if he was like pulls back the curtain? He's like, and guys, these pre-season tournaments, neutral site is Rucker Park.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
That would be wild.
I love it.
Just none of that makes any sense to make your entire fan base travel to New York to go watch. That's stupid. I don't like it. Anyway,
well, nobody cares what you think.
Okay, cool. Well, it's podcast. We give our opinion.
Brett York doesn't care what you think, Aaron.
As long as Shaq Diesel is performing, I'll be there.
Has there been any thought into adding a GM position to the basketball team like Coach Satt did with football to help navigate roster construction with NIL, or with basketball being a smaller roster, is that something a basketball coach wouldn't want to delegate?
So they already have kind of an abnormally large support staff that guys like Jake Thielen, Chris Lepore, and Drew Adams kind of navigate through that role already. It's not really like one person specifically, but those tasks are all handled by, and Matt Miller does a ton of stuff for Wes as well. So they kind of have one, but it's a little bit by committee. Ultimately you have what amounts to like 3 bench coaches on your support staff. So those 3 guys handle a lot of different things. There's just not one that's kind of labeled general manager, so to speak. So they're spending a lot of money on support staff, and that stuff is handled that way.
I'm trying to think how many teams have gone the GM route in basketball, and
everybody's going to have one eventually.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking like Duke is. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's a relatively new thing, and like you said, it's going to eventually evolve into one of the titles going to GM instead of everything other. So,
all right. 10 points per game, over under for Dan Skillings next season. What are you taking?
As the roster stands now?
Well, that would be the only way to evaluate it, yes.
Over. It would need to be over if this team was going to be doing well.
Making any noise in the Big 12?
Yeah. And I mean, who's saying he can't make that sort of jump,
Ryan, what you got?
I'm going to say he's going to hover around 8. 8 would be my guess. So just slightly under.
I think I'm kind of with you. I think first half of the season, as he's getting his legs under him, I think he will be a little under that 10 mark more often than not, to where he's averaging under. But the second half of the season, Dan Skillings comes a little bit alive, even against the Big 12. And I think he figures it out. And I think he starts to get some of those 12, 13, 15 point where he doesn't quite get to 10, but I think he'll be much better in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, not to nitpick, but the last 8 games of the season, he was averaging 7.6 points per game. So it was trending up. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, definitely would be something where you need a leap from Dan next year, no matter what it is. And I want to see Dan play a little bit at the 4 as well.
Not going to happen.
I want to see it. That's all I'm saying. Is spacing, everything.
I think it's something that could happen later in his career. He would get brutalized guarding 4s in the Big 12 physically.
Yeah,
is he going to add 30 pounds this offseason?
No, but I think he could be a mismatch the other way then. If
but they're just going to single him out and say, like the 4,
or just step in front of him.
The 4 has been like the
that's
3-4 combo forward. I know, but I don't think at this point he's ready to play the 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe as a junior, like I don't disagree with your premise that he could be a real mismatch at the 4 as he physically develops. I don't think he gets there this year.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm wrong, but I just physically he needs to get some lower body, some core, strength to be able to do something like that in this league.
Over under 10, Chad.
I'll go 9 point something. Because I think what we're seeing with this roster construction to this point is balance. And that means one night Dan's going to have 17. And then, 3 days later, he might have 7 because CJ was hot and had 25. And, I just think there's going to – hey, look, you go look at CJ's numbers from Iowa against some really good teams.
Look,
if he's healthy, the way he shoots the ball, he can do what Landers did, where he just, all of a sudden you've got 5 threes in a game. You're already at 15 points. Like next thing you know, you're at 22, 23, whatever. I think there's going to be enough balance that you'll see some fluctuation where there's some nights that he's getting the ball a lot and putting the ball in the basket. And then there's going to be other nights where maybe the ball's, popping somewhere else. I mean, that's the one thing I really like what we're seeing so far with this roster construction is I think this is a team as looking where the ball's going to pop. And it's not going to be nearly as much, play in isolation. And we're not going to see as much of the ball stopping as we saw a season ago. So I would say just under 9.4, somewhere in that range. Not quite to 10 yet, but close.
Does landing Frederick change the calculus for the final spot? Pairing Estrada with Simas made a lot of sense. Does it still make sense with Frederick in the fold?
Yeah. Because you're just increasing your skill on offense. You're increasing your shot making because he's a high 30% 3-point shooter on volume. And you're putting in the mix a guy that can really pass and move and play without the ball. Look, the way modern basketball looks, the more guys you have that can shoot, pass, and play without the ball, the better your team is going to be. Because those are all things that move the defense, that create space, that create rhythm, and make your team better as a whole offensively. So, yeah, I mean, do I still worry if you have Simas, like, is there an alpha? Yeah, I worry about that a little bit. I worry about where's the ball going with, 10 seconds on the shot clock and 30 seconds left in the game. Like, yeah, I worry about those things if that's what the roster looks like. But that's why you recruited Jizzle James and Davion Day Thomas, as to be those guys with the ball in their hands. Probably going to have to grow up a little quicker maybe than you expected, but, such is life.
Such is life. Brent, anything to add there?
Sorry, I'm typing up the recap.
We're not
Yeah, I'm right there with Chad. As far as what it goes, like the alpha sense, because I mean, we even at numerous times last year we're asking Landers to step up and be the alpha, and then because DDJ was being it for most of the first half of the year, and then he hit that shooting slump. But as it's currently constructed right now, is Day going to be the one? Is the question arises, who will be that alpha, the guy that late game situations is out there trying to get you buckets? And is it CJ Frederick? Tobes mentioned how he's more than just a standstill shooter, which I agree with watching his tape, but you definitely need someone that can also break down a defense and create his own shot with CJ Frederick as well. So the
best teams have a guy that can turn down the ball screen and go make something happen.
Right, exactly. So that is what I need to see. And I mean, Simas Lukosius did that against that team up in Norwood a couple times, which is would be awesome to see. But is that going to be night in, night out basis? He was hot in some games and then cold in others. So I don't know. Some sort of an alpha would be kind of what I think would be perfect as the final spot.
With the awesome commitment from CJ, could this help with Simus's decision to come here? Be a heck of a shooting and scoring pair to get.
We already kind of covered that. I think it's going to be a matter of what does he want out of where he's transferring? You'll find out here in the next couple of days.
Are there plans to add anyone to the basketball staff for DeMar's role, or will Drew Adams, Chris Lepore, and Jake Thielen carry those?
Different guy. That's a different guy. Not nearly as pretty. No, I think they're pretty content with where things are at with the support staff right now.
A lot of guys in the fold.
A lot of really good guys in the fold. Like a lot of probably like 3 guys that are well overqualified for the positions that they're in. Like you just lean on those 3. And Matty Mills.
If Limas commits and everyone on the current roster gets granted eligibility, I think it means Simus. 2-time transfer, medical. What would your way to early expectations be for next season?
Is it? No, that's Linus. I was thinking of the guy on Peanuts that plays piano.
That is Linus.
Charlie
and that's
Brown. Yeah.
Very different.
Has a blankie.
Yeah, the guy with the blankie that plays piano. Yeah. I don't think he could help this year. I don't know. Be a bubble team. Like, be in the conversation and try to play your way into the tournament. It's a talented roster. Is it a perfect roster? No. Is it a roster that we're looking at and talking about is going to compete for like a protected seed? No. But, if you win 7 or 8 games in the Big 12 and you have not a disastrous non-conference slate, then you should be in the mix for a tournament spot.
And if you get steps like Vic had last year, where he takes another step like that this year, if Dan takes a step like Vic did last year, if either any of the 3 new guys in Day or Jizzle or Ray are able to make a big splash, then you're talking a little different, but we'll see.
Luco. I like Luco for Lukosius. I think like you're saying, everyone takes jumps, fully healthy CJ Frederick. Yeah, but we got to know who that final spot is. But I think, battle in the Big 12. Try your hardest to just be there when tournament discussions are.
Win some games you're not supposed to, lose some games you weren't supposed to. We'll see. Absolutely loved your interview with CJ. Would you consider doing one with Reynolds as well? Chad, that one is up to you.
Yeah. Reynolds has been a little elusive. Brent has been working on getting the story with him. Like he's not the easiest guy to track down. So some
Brent
guys
or Brett?
Brett. My brain doesn't work. Come on.
Basketball recruiting specialist Brett Stein, that is.
Yes. Brett has been working on that, and he's been a little elusive. With CJ, like, there's a lot of connections there. I didn't have a hard time tracking CJ down. One, and there were enough mutual connections that knew me that interview gets done pretty easily. I would absolutely do one with Reynolds. That's a matter of getting him in the same place at the same time and in one of these StreamYard studios and getting it done. I'll do what I can. But thank you for watching. The CJ interview was great. Like I said, I thought it was outstanding.
Yeah, I don't know that we've heard from Dino Cross in the mailbag before, so
he's a regular on the boards. Like I know who he is.
Just mean here in the
in the
mailbag.
I got you.
Prime Tobler versus Prime CJ. What's the score in a game to 11? Ones and twos. After the way that Zach talked tonight, and his biggest regret being that he didn't play football and played basketball instead, and he wasn't very good at basketball, I'm going to say he would have, if he was still here, say that Prime CJ beats Prime Tobler. That said,
The score.
if you're playing ones and twos,
Are we playing make it take it?
11-5.
That's probably about. See, the difference is I think Zach could back him down.
Yeah,
put a little toes on it.
But you got to dribble through the arc first to get to where you can back down.
And if Zach misses and CJ gets the ball, he's so good from three, Zach might never see it again. Might just be like 5 of those
Buckets.
and a little layup and it's over. 11-5 sounds good, Aaron. I like 11-5.
And that is the basketball portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the last portion of the mailbag, which is the Banks portion. Rapid fire. Kelsey, does she have no fear?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay. Who is the best dancer on the BCJ staff, and why is it Brent?
I mean, I don't know what Royer's got, but
I
1,000%
ain't got
I'm
shit.
putting my name up there as the best dancer.
I ain't got shit, man.
100,000,000%.
I'm bad.
Best dancer.
Bad.
Can you swing dance, though, Brent?
Yes, I can. I took cotillion, so I know all the dance moves. Foxtrot, swing.
Oh, look at you.
All of the above.
Jitterbug?
Little jitterbug.
I mean, I used to dance a little back in the day. Learned to swing, like a little salsa.
Sounds like
picture-
Chad's my
it's been a
biggest
while.
competitor.
It's been a while, but I had some moves back in the day.
I don't know that I ever graduated past pop and lock.
Okay. Pop and lock is good, though. We'll give you that.
I mean,
A little crumping.
what? No. Told you I didn't graduate past pop and lock.
Lean with it, rock with it.
That's fine. So I'd give myself a solid C+, where I can have fun at weddings, but I'm not trying to do anything wild. Cotillion, though, that's impressive. Of course you were cotillion.
Ask anyone
What the
that
hell is that?
It's like the rich people party for kids.
No,
Cotillion?
That's not what it is.
I watched the OC. I know what the cotillion
It's
is.
something that you go to like they teach you manners and stuff. And then
Which
they teach you
forks to use when there's 3 forks at the table and 2 spoons
Get
and
the fuck out of here.
and a shrimp fork and three cups in front of you.
my parents sent me because I was a kid that after every dinner they had to I had food all over my shirt and shit, you know. So it's like we gotta send Brent to Cotillion. That guy eats with his mouth open.
I got sent to my room when I had food all over my shirt. He got sent to fancy
Finishing
classes.
I think it's pretty damn popular. I think people go to that kind of stuff. So
I do
I don't
not.
even know what it is.
Put it on the poll.
Yeah, put a poll up. Ask how many people have been to finishing school.
Finishing school.
That's the shorthand version of what it is. Like, finishing school, like teaching you manners, teaching you how not to be just a slobby savage.
That I was.
For the longest time, I had to tell Kelsey, the food goes in your mouth.
Yeah, right.
Like, you take the fork or the spoon and you put the food in here. Like, how do you fucking miss?
Right.
What happens?
Did you have to wear fancy white gloves at your fancy
No.
schooling?
That you did not. No.
Or a suit coat with tails?
Nope. Did not have to do that either.
I picture both of those things on
I want to say some things, but I keep forgetting this is public.
All right.
Well, if you keep forgetting, you would say them and then deal with the repercussions afterwards.
Mimosas or Bloody Marys for breakfast?
I don't like either. I guess
both.
a mimosa. I hate tomato juice.
You don't like tomato soup?
I like tomato soup. I don't like V8.
Oh yeah.
Which is what a Bloody Mary is made from.
I love a good Bloody Mary, but mimosas. If I'm on vacation, give me a mimosa immediately. Like,
well, yeah, mimosas always just gave me a headache, and
I'll go like a peach Bellini for a brunch drink.
Now we're talking fancy. There you go, Chad.
That's just a better tasting drink than mimosas or Bloody Marys.
I picture Brent as an appletini guy.
No, I do like a dirty martini with an espresso martini at the end of the meal, but
espresso martini, 3 beans. You got to have 3 beans, right?
Little 3 beans on top. Don't eat them because they are not tasty. Just a forewarning.
Did you learn that at finishing school?
I learned that on a late night. How about that? But no. So if the mimosas are bottomless, I'm doing those all day. But if you got
19.
If you got to keep
mimosas,
ordering, then give me a Bloody Mary.
So we have a conversation in the chat going that the people now think you come from money, Brent. Tell me you come from money without telling me you come from money from the fake John Goebel about you going to finishing school.
All I'll say about fake John Goebel is he's a great guy.
All right, last question. Just spitballing here. I think that's the last question. Oh no, we missed one from Skins. Follow-up question: Did you think fake John Goebel would be bigger?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought he'd be a little bigger guy, like taller. Taller.
I think he was exactly as I wanted him to be.
Don't eat them, you dumbbell. See, Brent, now you're experiencing Chelsea knows you now, so she's going to be much more comfortable crushing you because she's been doing this to me for like a decade.
You know, it was the the chocolate covered coffee beans are spectacular. So you think these will taste good with with the martini, but they don't. They really don't.
You'd think Brent was wearing a white hat talking about espresso martinis like this.
Hey,
he got a black Tiger Woods hat on.
I hate to say it. If you don't like espresso martinis, you got a little problem with you, man. Those are unbelievably tasty.
I do like them. It's just holding that glass. Just something just feels wrong as a man. I don't know why. Just like holding your little martini.
Pay attention to what's in a martini. It's just booze.
It's just vodka.
Like it's just a glass full of vodka or gin.
Flavored vodka or gin, yeah.
It's like with a little drop of flavor. Like here's a glass of vodka with a little drop of this in it. And that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Just spitballing here. But if we were to sign a new apparel deal, would we be able to wear said brand's apparel for the first season in the Big 12? I thought the Under Armour deal had the ability for us to purchase into 2024, so I wasn't sure if the gear has already been ordered with them. Wait to see.
Chad left the chat.
Wait to see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
No, inglés, no hablo inglés. Hello, hello, ¿qué pasa?
That's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
I don't know either about
Si,
this whole
señor.
apparel thing. Yeah.
Si, señor, hello.
Who the hell knows? But hey, well, you know what, guys? If we don't have anything else to say here, any final nuggets before we say goodbye to everybody?
Fake John Goebel says, I love an espresso martini, but I order it in a rock glass every time. There's your life hack, Royer.
I heard they
It
taste.
doesn't look right. It doesn't
Fake
look
John
right.
Goebel.
Either way.
They taste even better in Vegas. I heard that's something down the line. But nothing else. No nuggets for the faithful.
No, I wanted to thank you guys, Fake John Goebel, Chelsea, the favorites, everybody that showed out. Killer V was at the service. A lot of people that popped
UC
in.
Doc.
UC
Yeah,
Doc.
oh.
UC Doc. That's my guy.
We were talking to UC Doc for a minute.
I missed UC Doc.
He was telling us
Really?
everything. Every
You were standing right there.
I got a history lesson.
Yeah, we did.
Aaron, you were standing right. I'm pretty sure you met UC Doc at some point.
No, Aaron was UC Doc was with Brent and I for like 30 minutes. What was that, Brent?
Oh,
No,
I
UC
got there.
Doc's the best.
I got there late because I went to the wrong funeral home first. I went to the other
that's
Linnemans
right.
before I got to the.
What was the man and the woman? They went by Cincy
Bob and
75.
Phyllis. Yeah.
Bob and
The
Phyllis'
favorites.
favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes,
I love
yes,
them.
that's right.
They're
Yeah,
some
they
of
were-
my favorite people. But thank you to everybody. I know this sounds weird to say, but Saturday was a pretty awesome day because the love that was there for her, the support, like it was awesome. And it was sad, it sucked, but it was inspiring because she inspired a lot of fucking people. And it was cool to kind of see that come to fruition. So thank you boys for being there. Thank the BCJ folks that showed up, and we managed to have a pretty good time. Till Aaron got in his feelings.
I got white boy wasted.
You did. You did.
It's all right, Aaron.
Aaron cried like 17.
Yeah,
I was 17, 20 times.
Surprised no one.
Maybe multiply.
Aaron cried more than me at
If
my
there's an
wife's funeral
look,
and wake.
If there's an open bar, good luck keeping these eyes dry. I'm just saying, man.
Jesus Christ, dude. My dad was like, "Is Aaron okay?" I was like, "I don't think so."
You mean Lance Armstrong? The boy Lance?
Oh
Yeah. Yeah. That's like riding full.
I will say, Aaron, I did enjoy every single hug that we had. So don't you worry.
Dear God.
But guys, if we got nothing left, then a huge thank you as always to Tobes for hopping on. Huge thank you as well to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Huge thank you as well to our friends over at Quick Paper Supply, and also for my guys, my boys, my fellas, Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, and Ryan Royer. I am Brent Young yet again. Another fantastic BVP presented by BearcatJournal.com.